Okay, so let's quickly look at how to draw use case diagram using this program, this software we call Wondershare eDrawMax. So let's just go straight away. Let's open it. Okay, so this is how the interface looks like. This is how the interface looks like. So since we are beginning a new project, you can just click on blank drawing or click on new. Alright, so when you click on it, you'll have so many recommended options here, but this is what we are interested in. That's UML modeling. So click on it and you have the UML modeling options here. We have so many of them. We have class diagram, communication diagram, and so on and so forth. But we're interested in using use case diagram, and this is it. So just click on it. So upon clicking on it, you realize that they will display to you all the symbols, all the things you need under use case diagram to help you draw. Okay, so what we need to know is that sometimes you just have to understand some of the symbols for having how you are going to use them, how they'll be interacting with each other. But for today we are going to look at how to use this actor, the use case, the system container, this association, and then they include relationship and then extend relationship. Alright, so this is where we have our symbols, and this is the interface where the drawing will be taking place. So but what we need to understand is that, alright, let's just start. If we start, we'll get to understand some of the things. Alright, so now what you do is that you first of all drag your system container to this place. Alright, so the system container that you can see here represents the application you are coming to develop or the software you are coming to develop. So the system container represents that. So for example, when they were developing these Wondershare eDrawMax, it means that during the drawing of the use case diagram for this particular software, this represented eDraw Wondershare. I hope you get it. So whatever you are coming to develop, this particular rectangular box represents that particular software you are developing. So in my case, we are developing um, a student registration system for Baga Baga College of Education. So it means that this rectangular box will represent the registration system of Baga Baga College of Education. So just as I mentioned, you can't develop a software without giving it a name. So here I'm going to enter the name of my software, and that will be Baga Baga College of Education student registration system. So I'll just say Basi student registration system. So let me just do this way so that we wouldn't waste much time. Alright, so this is the software I'm coming to develop. So the rectangular box represents the software you're coming to develop. So whatever will be taking place within the rectangular box, that's whatever will be happening in the system, is what we refer to as the use cases. And then it is represented by an oval shape, and that is what we have here. So a use case represents all the activities that will be taking place. Whatever can be done within the system is what we refer to as the use case. So, and also we have actor here. Now, actor refers to an entity, any entity that will be operating the system or any entity that will be making use of the system. Any entity that will be interacting with the system is what we call the actor. So the actor can be a human being, like a student or a teacher, an instructor. It can be an organization, like a bank. could be an institution like a school and all that. So per our project, I would say the two main actors that have been mentioned include student and then an instructor. So let me have one of my actors here. So I'll name this actor student. Alright. Then I'll have another actor here. Then I'll name this actor instructor. Alright, but let's understand that we don't just choose to locate our actors where we want. Now we locate the primary actor at the left hand side, then the secondary actor at the right hand side. Now the primary actor is the one who has basic access to the system, and then the secondary is the one who has absolute control. So let me say the one who has much influence on the system. So for example, if we take a student and then a school, for instance, a school is supposed to be located at the right hand side, then a student will be located at the left hand side, because the student is more or less like a parasite, but the school has absolute control over the system. So whoever can control the system deeply is located at the right hand side, and the one who only comes to access it is located at the left hand side. So that's why we have our student here, and then we have an instructor here. Now we now look at what the instructor can do within the system and what a student can do within the system. So whatever a student can do, or whatever an actor can do within the system, is what we refer to as the use cases. So when you develop a system like this, it means that we should know that a student should be able to log in. Likewise, an instructor should also be able to log in. And from our project, we have so many options that we've been given: what a student can do within the system and what an instructor can do within the system. But this is just for us to understand. So let's make it like a student is supposed to be able to log in, or an instructor is supposed to be able to log in. So it means one of the main use cases we can employ in this case will be sorry, the login use case. So we just come here, click on use case and drag it into the rectangular box. So let me make it smaller. So I'll just name this one login. So login. Alright, now it means that when I finish developing my application, a student should be able to log into the system, and then probably an instructor should also be able to log into the system. So we now use what we call association to show that a student is supposed to be able to log into the system. So we have the association symbol here. Just take it, drag it to student, and then you drag it, you extend it to login, which means that a student should be able to log into the system. Also, an instructor is supposed to be able to log into the system, so it means both of them should be able to log into the system. So we do the same thing to the instructor. So instructor should also be able to log into the system, and you are done with that one. Now another thing is that a student should be able to view his profile. So I should create a use case for view profile. So a student is supposed to be able to view or even edit his profile. So let me make it this way. So a student should be able to view or edit his profile. So let me say student profile. Alright, let me make it this way. So a student should be able, so we use an association to show that a student should be able to view and edit his profile. But in our project work, it is demanded that an instructor should also be able to view a student profile. So, which means that, okay, but shouldn't edit. You should be able to view but not edit. So let me take off the edit option here. Alright. So an instructor is also supposed to be able to view student profile. Alright. Then also a student is supposed to be able to add a course or register a course rather. So we'll have a use case which we will name register course. Let me put it here. So we'll name this particular use case register course. Register course. Alright, so it means that a student should be able to register a course. So whatever the student can do within the system, you create a use case for it, just as it has been given in the project. So they've defined to us what a student should be able to do. So whatever a student is supposed to do in the system is supposed to be a use case in the system. Likewise, an instructor. So an instructor is supposed to be able to add a course. So we create a use case which we will name add course. But that one should belong to an instructor. So you can locate it here. Now we should also know that the location of your use case within the rectangular box doesn't matter. You have to make sure that it is just within the rectangular box, but the location doesn't really matter. You also sometimes, but what it's also good to sometimes make it look nice, or let them appear in some model manner. So for example, this way. So it means that an instructor should be able to add a course rather. Sorry for that. It should be add course. Alright, so an instructor should be able to add a course. So whatever the student or an instructor is supposed to do must be created. Like you use a use case, you create a use case and then just put that indication there. But you should know that in use case diagram, we start with a verb. So you can see that in every case, I'm starting with a verb. So we have login, view, we have register, we have add. So we normally start in every use case. We start every use case with a verb. So that is basically how you're supposed to go about it. Now there are extra functions we have. Remember I mentioned the include function. That's the include relationship and then the extend relationship. Having understood it, I would like to just use a simple scenario to explain this include and exclude. Now let's assume you want to create this system and you want to make it like you want to create a password portion in that if a student enters his password, the software should automatically log he or she in, which means that in this case it will have been like this. So let's look at how that one would have looked like. So in that case it would have looked like this. I'm coming. All right. I want to take this away to explain that one too. Sorry. It's wasting time. All right. So in that case, let me minimize this. So in that case, I'll create a use case and I'll name it enter password. So let me name this use case enter password. All right. So it means that anytime a student or an instructor enters his or her password into the system should automatically log he or she in. So in that case, it means that um, enter password and then log in has an include relationship. So it means whenever a password is keyed in and then it is correct, that you automatically get logged into the system. So it means that the relationship between this use case and this use case is an include relationship. So because of that, you just come here and look for the include um, line, and then you come and drag it in between enter password and then login, and it will automatically be labeled. So as you can see, we have include. It means that if so, we can now do this. So instead of the association line pointing direct to login, it will rather point to enter password. So it means that if a student enters his password into the system should automatically log he or she in. Likewise, the instructor. That's if the instructor is supposed to also log into the system. Okay. Alright. So I believe we understand that. Now let's look at another feature which we call the exclude relationship. Let me put this here so I can explain it better. Oh no. Now let me create a use case for a situation where you enter a password and then there is an error. So let's name this one error. So let's assume you keyed your password into the system and then there is an error. Then it means that you must be alerted that there is an error with the password, and so therefore you can't be logging. So it means that the relationship between enter password and then error is an extend relationship. So it means that whenever there is an error, you shouldn't be able to log into the system. So the relationship between enter password and error is an extend relationship. So you just come here and then look for the error relationship line, come and drag it between enter password and then error, and then it will also be automatically labeled as you can see. But then we have to be careful. Look at the arrow. We have an arrow moving from enter password to error, and then the same way when it comes to enter password to login. But what you must know is that in this case, it is the error that is giving a feedback, like this particular use case that is giving a feedback to this one that there is an error, and so the arrow should be pointed rather this way. But rather than here, once you enter your password and it is correct, you move straight toward login, like automatically you are logged inside. But when there is an error, you are alerted to recheck or do something about it, and so the arrow must be pointing towards this side. So that's what is supposed to be done. So let's do that. So I rather put this here, then I bring this here. All right, so let's end here for today. So that's just how you draw a use case diagram. Basically that's how it is done. So when you are done, you can save it. You can just save it and then you can go and do your printing. So that is it. But yeah, thank you very much. Another time. Bye.